It's 100% entertainment, 100% electricity, 100%.
Pipebomb Radio with your host, Felix Olmedo.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
And Austin James.
That's the bottom line. From stone to stone.
Welcome, everybody. Another special edition of Pipebomb Radio on at an earlier time, but with good reason. After the success of last week's show, we're on to another successful show tonight as we welcome, without a doubt, one of the most dominant females in professional wrestling in the last 20 years, without a shadow of a doubt, at least in my opinion. None as more dominant since China. Now, say what you will, but, you know, China has come along, and she did a lot for the wrestling business. And since her departure from professional wrestling, really nobody has caught my eye with the exception of Kharma. And even going back to her time in TNA wrestling, she came in and she was bad. Let me tell you. She came in and kicked the door down and helped build the Knockouts division, her and Gail Kim. And, well, she went on to WWE, and those vignettes were freaking phenomenal.
I gotta say, Kharma, and the Ric Flair said this on the numerous amount of times, saying when you create an aura for yourself, like you are the aura, and you don't have other people creating it for you, that's when you know you have an icon. And Kharma, without a doubt, I love her so much. I love her, you know, as a fan and everything. She knows what she's doing, and she's been successful in a number of different places. I mean, Japan, TNA, Ring of Honor, WWE. I mean, even though it was a short amount of time, she was there, and she is dominant. And if you think about it, every single place that she's gone, she's been dominant every single time. You know, there's no person that stood up to her and thought they can beat her right then and there, because right then and there they were put in their place.
And then some. Let me tell you. But I believe she might be calling in here, but you know what? Give me just a second. Talk amongst yourself here, Austin. Be back in just a moment.
Definitely. And, you know, Kharma, like I said, with Ric Flair and everything, you create the aura. You are the aura, and when you do that, you're an icon. And not many people in the professional wrestling world has ever had the opportunity to do that. You know, you kind of have to be born with something inside of you to be to project to the fans and be that person, be that being that just comes alive. And she is something unique, and I always enjoy watching her. TNA.
Well, folks, without any further ado, Austin, ladies and gentlemen of Pipebomb Radio, the one, the only. You guessed it, the one and only Kia Stevens, formerly known as Kharma, formerly known as Awesome Kong, Amazing Kong. This girl is just bad, let me just tell you. Welcome, Kia Stevens, to the show. How you doing?
Pretty good. Thank you, Felix, for having me. And hello, Austin. I heard you talking there. Very complimentary words. Thank you for that.
Not a problem.
We are just honored to have you joining us tonight.
Definitely.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Without any further ado, let's kick it off. And I got to ask, you know, as a young girl getting into professional wrestling, it's a two-part question. At what age would you say that you got into professional wrestling? And who were some of your heroes, or were you a fan more of the bad guys?
I got into wrestling as a kid, around about 7 or 8. The average age, you know, every kid does. And my favorite wrestlers were Nikolai Volkov, Coco Beware, Junkyard Dog, Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik, name it, Ric Flair, all of them. My favorite wrestlers, Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I mean, this is in the heyday of wrestling. Captain Lou Albano. I loved it when Cyndi Lauper came out, and it really made wrestling explode. That's the heyday, the golden years for me for wrestling.
You know, I actually seen last night. I was scrolling on Facebook, and I seen you posted something called a Karma Tracker on Kickstarter. You're putting something out there. But I'm really interested in seeing what this is. Can you explain to the people who might not have seen or have the chance of seeing what this is?
Yes, of course. People know me in WWE as Kharma, and the reason I chose that name is because I really do believe in karma. I believe what you put out in the world, you get back. And I've always been about, good deeds in society. So I thought, what if you could track the good deeds and the pay it forwards that you do? So with this website, if you were to, say, stamp, the website name and a special serial number on a cup of coffee or a receipt that you picked up for someone, like a dinner check, they then would be able to go into the website and punch that in and say, hey, this person, did this for me and it was awesome, and, I paid it forward this way, and then that chain would start and you would potentially see how far your good deed would go. And so ideally I like to, generate as many good deeds as there are people in this world, good 6 billion good deeds, and see how many times we could make it lap around the world. And we have some really interesting rewards on the Kickstarter site, which, if you go to Kickstarter.com and search, the Good Karma Tracker, they'll pop up, or under my name, Kia Stevens. And, of course, there's a link on my Twitter at Kharma, Kharma. And then, of course, for all you Facebookers, the Kia Stevens Project, you can go do that as well, and you'll get to see more about the project and what we're doing, and, follow it. We'll be posting up, videos every few days, and you can follow the progress and get in on the ground floor.
Nice deal. I can actually say I am a backer. I'm backing this project, and I look forward to seeing it come to total fruition and make this happen. We're going to make it happen. And going into my next question, I wanted to talk about working, because I mentioned in the beginning of our show that without a doubt in the last 20 years, at least in my opinion, there hasn't been a more dominant diva. And I went back as far as going to say to the time of China. And after she departed from wrestling and so forth, I watched you come along, and I hadn't seen anybody as dominant since her. And I remember talking to her a couple of weeks ago, and she had mentioned that she got to work with you a little bit in the early part of your career.
In the very early part of my career, I just had barely taken my first bump, barely 3 weeks before that. And I was doing a reality show called Discovery Body Challenge, Discovery Health Body Challenge. And it was kind of like The Biggest Loser, but it was on, the Discovery Channel. And they knew I wanted to be a wrestler, and they set it up. She was training over at the Inoki Dojo, the New Japan Dojo in Santa Monica, California at the time. And so they set up a surprise meeting for us and totally, surprised me with her, and of course I just fell to tears like a little teenager.
She said that. She said she's so proud of your success and how far you've come, and she wishes that she could have kept in contact with you, but she absolutely loves you.
Well, I'll have to email her, and we'll have to resume our friendship.
She's out in Japan right now. Just letting you know that, because I like I said, I keep in contact with her on Facebook, and I was telling her that you were coming on. She's like, "Oh, I remember working with her," and when she when it started crying, and I was like, and I just love her to death, and I'm so proud of the success she's had, and definitely, we need to reconnect with her. But
yes, you should be the liaison for that.
I can make that happen.
And you actually speak of Inoki, you speak of Japan. You're no stranger to Japan either. You've been tag team champions multiple times with the legendary Aja Kong, and I definitely have to ask, how was that like, being a tag team with her? Probably the most dominant women's tag team of all time, without a doubt.
It was amazing, no pun intended, because not only were we tag champions, legit tag champions in women's wrestling, but we also got to tag together in Hustle, which was a really fun promotion where we got to break from our usual intimidating characters and play something extremely fun. So my run with her, both, serious and playful, was was one of the highlights of my career. And originally, when I got an opportunity to come to Japan because of her, because the problem she had with the All Japan Women's Office at the time, and she decided not to do a show, which opened up a spot, and they needed an A Kong, and that's why they named me Amazing Kong, so that there would be an A Kong on the card. And
coincidence?
Right? So when I finally got to meet her, I was very nervous because I didn't know how she would receive me, this newbie, this gaijin that came in and just took the Kong name without asking her, but she was so gracious. I ran into her at a Korean barbecue one night, at a steakhouse actually, and she paid for me and my guests' food on the way out, and it was, my jaw just dropped. She was, very, very hospitable. Wasn't that cool? That was the first time I met her. I went over and I said hello, the usual, what you're supposed to do when, you meet a veteran. And then later on the way out, picked up the tab and, it was like boom. And I was like, wow, she's
I remember listening to you on a podcast a few years ago. I'm going to say about a year, maybe two. This was DDP's podcast. When you were in the early stages of DDP Yoga.
Yes.
And I have to ask, how is that going? Because I've seen pictures, girl, you are killing it. You are looking good.
Yes.
You're just doing great. I'm proud of you.
Extremely felt with DDP Yoga. Unfortunately, I sustained, my injury got really worse, and I came down with pneumonia. And it's been so debilitating that I haven't been able to keep up with my DDP Yoga, which has, made the pounds come back on. But I am due for laser spine surgery, which will allow me to get back on my yoga pad here in my living room and work it out and melt those pounds back off. I love it. It's so beneficial. It helps with, injuries like mine. It's good for the soul. It makes you feel good.
You should go on one of them retreats
really works.
if you get the chance. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we should both go. We should go down to he has he's got the resort down there. He's got the whole deal. Get a package.
I'd be down. I'd go.
Go out. Right?
Austin, let's go. Austin,
yeah.
Kia, let's go. The three of us. We'll go down to Mexico and we'll rock it.
Rock it out.
Well, I actually started DDP Yoga myself a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and I always said, Felix probably remembers me telling us, time after time, I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm finally going to, buy the package. Never did, and eventually I did, and once I did, I'm like, oh my God, there's such a support system, with Team DDP Yoga. All the people are on that, online website, and I'm doing it every single day with the energy and how much Diamond Dallas Page, just through the TV screen, radiates off his charisma, I think, is what's making me lose the pounds.
It is. So you've had it for 2 weeks. Have you yelled at the TV screen yet? Have you told DDP to shut up? Sometimes he's like, bang!
Yes,
and you're like, leave me alone. I can't breathe. But it's awesome at the same time. And when you get further into the program, it's awesome because he's doing all these handstands and stuff, and you're like, show off. But what's awesome is as you get further into it, you gain strength, and you're able to do some of that stuff too. So you just have to keep up with it every day, and it's amazing how far you get into it when you stick with it.
Now you actually...
I'm sorry, Austin. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's cool. I was going to say, you actually went on to be in Ring of Honor, which I think is probably one of the best wrestling companies in the world today. Because, they focus a lot on just, wrestling. And during that time, you faced with so many great talents and had some of the best matches I've ever seen in women's wrestling. How was that experience like for you being in Ring of Honor? And do you ever look forward to being back there one day if the chance opened up?
Well, of course, yes, Ring of Honor. It says it in the name. It really is a Ring of Honor, and every match in Ring of Honor, each wrestler leaves it out there. They go out there and just wrestle their hearts out. And my first experience with Ring of Honor was actually the day before I debuted on Impact, and it was the first time at Ring of Honor. And, wow, the crowd at Ring of Honor, the the kinetic energy you can feel in the air. It's almost tangible, and these are the most bloodthirsty fans I've ever encountered in my life. I mean, they are diehard. I grew up in California, so we really didn't get a lot of live, wrestling shows. So we didn't get, a lot of ECW. So I never got to experience that. But I would imagine that it's very close to that from what I used to watch from ECW. That those fans are extremely close to that.
Absolutely, and. I got to ask, just dipping a little bit into those early vignettes of your arrival into WWE, because as soon as people seen it was you, oh, mama, they were ready for you to come in and kill it. And those vignettes, I got to ask, whose idea was it to come out and be flicking the Barbie doll? Because that was brilliant. That was freaking awesome. I got to ask, who was that came up with the idea?
The actual doll idea was, the WWE production team. With the dolls and the breaking of the dolls. The flicking of the doll head was my thing, and I begged. It was like my first day of doing anything at WWE, and we were filming. It was WrestleMania weekend, and they sat me at that table, and I stayed there for about 9 hours. I didn't get up. I didn't use the bathroom. I just sat there, and we did all kinds of breaking and all kinds of pulling apart legs, and I was like, can I just flick her head off just once, because we had already broke it off, so it was easy just to flick it off, and they let me go ahead and do it, and we only did it once, and they used it, and when they used it, I was like, oh, that's so awesome. That's so awesome that they used my idea.
That was a great part. And then you got to do it to Kelly. I was like, oh, ooh, I like that. Very good idea. I just had to say that. I'm sorry. That was to me. That was just awesome. But in TNA, I was going to mention too. You were an architect along with Gail Kim. I was going to call her Gabriel. I don't know why I said that. Shame on me. Gail Kim. You and her. I swear, you guys built the Knockouts division. Without you two, it would not have been as big as it was. And you know what? For a while, the Knockouts division in TNA was hotter than the men. It was better than the men's action. I mean, they had girls in cage matches. You guys built that. I hope you look at that with pride, because you know what? You took part in that. You and her, you guys killed it. The matches you guys were having back then, amazing.
Thank you. I think I can speak for Gail as well. In saying that we both put the product first every time we went out there. It wasn't about, for me, it wasn't about me trying to get myself ahead, and for Gail, it wasn't about her, getting herself ahead. It was about us getting this division ahead, the product ahead, and making sure women's wrestling was once again respected in the world.
Love it.
And coming up next month, a person that's actually a former TNA Knockout, Lady Tapa, former guest on Pipebomb Radio. You and her actually going to be wrestling WrestleCade next month, November. What was it, Felix? November 2nd?
29th.
29th.
November
20th. Exactly. Lady Tapa and Kharma in the same ring. Is that a match that you expected to be in during this time? Like, you ever expected to face her?
Yes, it's very exciting too, because we both have strong styles, and it's hard to find someone that's kind of suitable and matches me up in my weight class that could possibly pick me up and throw me for a change. So I'm gonna have to change my wrestling strategy. So I'm gonna have to use the old noggin and figure out exactly how I'm gonna approach this match and figure out a winning strategy.
Awesome deal. If you could actually have, let's just say tomorrow you're going to retire from wrestling, but you're going to have one more match, and you search around and you come to find out that one person would come out of retirement for you. If you had the opportunity to have this match, let's just say against China, would you be up for it?
Oh, I definitely would be. People people would pay to see it, and it would be an awesome memory. It'd be an awesome memory to have, an awesome experience to do, and I definitely would. I think we should tango. We should tango.
Mm. And you're looking at your professional wrestling career. In the scene of professional wrestling, there's a lot of women, but there's few that kind of really make themselves known. And what was the process in you making yourself to the way you are now and to making the superstar that you are?
Well, there are a lot of people that contributed to my career and made sure I was a success. When I got back from Japan, I met up with Ed Schumann of the NWA and at Shimmer in Chicago, and he saw something in me and said, I'm going to make you a star kid. And he made sure I got to TNA and made sure that they took care of me. And then there was Dutch Mantell that, was responsible for a lot of things that Gail and I did and that the Knockouts did in the beginning of the launch of the Knockouts division. And so, I am just a part of the success of Kong. There are a lot of people that were behind me and believed in me and wanted me to succeed. And without their support, without that support system, I wouldn't have.
And you have some amazing fans that love you to death. And I swear, if you had a nickel for every time they asked you to come back to WWE, girl, you'd be rich.
Right? I'd be maya rich.
You giving Vince McMahon a run for his money.
Right? I'm like, hey, I got some change. I'm buying all the rest of the stock that you don't control.
Okay, we didn't say that. I'm just kidding. But, if you had the chance to work with some of the greatest wrestling managers of all time, for your character, of course, if you felt that you could, if you had the choice to pick whoever you could have to represent you, past or present, or even whoever you might have had now, who would you have chosen as your manager and why?
Well, I have great respect for Raisha Saeed, but if I had a pool, it would be a teeter-totter choice between Paul Heyman and Bobby Heenan. You got to get the brain in there.
See, Austin's a Paul Heyman guy, and I'm a Bobby Heenan guy. So, two of our favorites.
I didn't get that one wrong for either of you, right?
Well, it's
no. You know what?
Because
there have been a lot of great managers, though. So, yeah, those are great choices. Absolutely.
Well, with Paul Heyman never managed a girl in wrestling, in his time in wrestling. So to be that first person that he would manage, I think fits the part amazingly. If there ever would come to fruition, which maybe, hey, never say never. I don't know. I know you're interested in that, and maybe down the line that might actually end up happening. You never know.
Right? Yeah. You never say never. People say they're a Paul Heyman guy. I don't know if I'd be a Paul Heyman girl, but I'd be a Paul Heyman bitch real quick.
Hey, they be watching out for you. I gotta ask though, have you had the opportunity? I'm not in at all really. To see the new performance facility, and if so, what are your thoughts about it out there in
I
WWE
haven't been there and seen it. I haven't been there and seen it in person, but from what I have seen on the site and from what I heard, that it is absolutely top-notch, state-of-the-art, superb, just bar none. Nothing compares. It's up there with the NBA and the NFL as far as training goes.
Okay. And could we actually ever see maybe what's a good word I want to use? Because I'm thinking of a catchy name, because I suggest this to a lot of my guests, and I really could see it because some people have the gift of gab, and I believe you do, because I watched your kayfabe commentaries. I couldn't stop laughing. I can't remember if it was kayfabe, but he was asking you some of the best questions, and he had you laughing so hard. But would you ever consider doing a podcast, maybe doing your own, hosting your own? It's successful. People are doing it, and they're making it their own.
I would, and I think that with my project, with my Kickstarter, it's the first step towards something like that. I've been off the scene for a while, and even with these interviews, I feel a little bit rusty. So right now, shaking out the rust, and we'll see if some podcasts, or a video blog is, the next step for me. I'm definitely interested in that.
Kicking it with Kia.
No.
What do you know? What do you think?
Perfect.
Kicking it with Kong?
Kicking it with Kong, kicking it with Kharma. Hey, that works.
It works.
Now, what does the future look like for you? What do you have? What's your plan?
Corner, I like it all.
Love that. Now, for your fans and your future in professional wrestling, what do you have planned? Like, what's your, in wrestling, what do you have plans to do? Any championships that you want to really grasp onto that you might not have around your waist right now?
Well, I think I've run through a few belts. I've gotten a lot of armor. I've collected a lot of armor along the way. There's only, I think, one left, and we all know which one that is. And I would take the existing one and melt it down and create the most awesome belt personalized for me ever in existence to ever exist, as far as wrestling belts go.
Considering that you were the third woman ever to be in the Royal Rumble, that's got to say something, because when you did that implant buster on Dolph, oh man, I was marking out and then taking out Michael Cole, icing on the cake, and you know what? I was thinking that you might say the World Heavyweight title, because China went for the IC title. Why couldn't you go for one and whoop the men's butt and let them know who's running things?
Well, you never know. I'm still young yet. Kong is a timeless character, so there's
Absolutely.
still time. But we'll see. You never know. You never say never. I always say, Rob Van Dam has been back so many times and he's made so many runs.
Yes.
But you never get tired of it, because he's awesome. No. Christian, he leaves and he comes back, and it's always good when they come back, and you're always excited. Jericho is left and he's come back, and it's always exciting when they come back because they are so phenomenal. So I always, not to be corny, but what does John Cena says? Never give up.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You're right.
And for a place in WWE, it's like, for you to go there, you have to be the centerpiece. Being Kharma, that's a name that Kharma is like, what? Nobody else has a name like that. That's phenomenal. Like, who else is gonna be?
And she thought of it too.
Kharma, exactly, and that's so cool. And with the harm in the middle, I'm like, Jesus Christ, how can she even do that? I would never think about it as much as it's so cool to me, like how you're coming up with these things and everything. You go in and you're dominant. You're dominant everywhere you went in this entire world. And what's interesting about life, that people in this world never really go out and accomplish their dreams, and very few do. And you're one of the ones that stepped out of the pack and did. That's absolutely it's phenomenal to me and to a lot of people.
Thank you.
An inspiration.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And it definitely takes you back to the days when you tried out for Tough Enough. And nobody, and you know what? I don't know if anybody remembers, but I remember you. I did. And then when I seen you come out, I was like, oh my God, I remember her. And then go on and do the things that you've done. Yes, you are definitely an inspiration to many people out there. They'd be like, you know what? When people tell you can't do it, get up there and prove them wrong. And then you did that. And although JR took a lot of grief for saying things that he did.
I thank him. He made my career, and he. Without him, I wouldn't have started on that Yellow Brick Road. And
That's
at
right.
the end, he was there, and him and, Stone Cold Steve Austin, when I met them at the Cauliflower Alley Club back in 2009, when I met them, they launched, a mini campaign on social media that really got the office there thinking maybe we should, give her a chance. So he bookended my career, basically. He launched it, and then he propelled it over there to WWE. So I have much gratitude towards JR.
And with that, we want to definitely get you to do your plugs. We know you got your Kickstarter that we talked about. For those of you guys who we definitely have been posting links, and we will continue to post the Kickstarter link on our Facebook page, Twitter page, personal page. I mean, we're going to spread the word. But do you want to plug anything else? I mean, you got the WrestleCade next month. What else you got? What else you got?
We got the WrestleCade next month. I just invite people to come to the Kickstarter page because we have everything as far as rewards from, a personalized stamp for the website all the way to managing me in a wrestling match to a custom wrestling match that I would perform for someone to big rollers. If you got some deep pockets, we'll put on a whole wrestling show for you in your hometown. So definitely come and check out the site on Kickstarter, the Good Kharma Project, Good Kharma Tracker, and then visit my Twitter at Kharma, KHARMA. And if you're a Facebook person, go to the Kia Stevens Project and check it out.
With that said, Kia, big ups to you and to CJ. You guys are awesome. We can't thank you guys enough for helping us set this up. We love just chatting and having a good time with you today, talking. We just kind of hit the tip of the iceberg. We would love somewhere down the line, maybe a part 2, maybe deeper into your early career, and just talk about the early days. What it was like, maybe a little bit of road stories that you can talk about, of course. And we'd love to have you back, do a part 2 somewhere down the line, because this has just been so much fun. You have such a character about you that we just want to keep on talking. But we know you definitely got things to do. You're a busy woman, but we can't thank you enough for doing this.
I would love to come back, especially with Austin inflating my ego so much with all the kind words he said. I would definitely come back and blow some wind with you guys again. It was fun. It was a pleasure, and thank you for having me, and thank you for being a backer for my project. It means the world.
Absolutely, and it means the world to us that you came on, and we'll definitely keep an eye out, guys. Maybe part 2 will be right around the corner. You never know.
Never know.
You take it easy, Kia, and you have a great night.
You too. Thank you both. Good night.
All right. Bye-bye. That was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we hit on everything, but doggone it, we definitely tried. And Nate, dude, you are missing out.
Well, no, the thing about it is, she thinks that I try to think I'm just saying these things just to say it. It's not.
No, and you know what? And I know we didn't get a chance to talk more about that. I was gonna, she don't know. This girl don't know how much of a fan you are of her. And
well, no,
it's
not about that. I mean, as much as a fan I am of her, there's very few people that I really enjoy as women's wrestlers. I mean, they come and go. There's only once in a great while that somebody really stands out of the pack and makes themselves known. I mean, look at Leah, Trish Stratus, Chyna, Kharma. I mean, these people come once in a good while, and then when they do come, they make when you make yourself known out of you get out of actual women and start to be kind of a part of the whole entire shebang, the whole entire thing. That's when you really break out of the pack and really make yourself known as an icon. In women's wrestling, there's the ones that break out are the ones who become icons. There's very few that do.
Absolutely. And with that, and it's true, I would definitely love to set something up with, have her reconnect with Chyna. You and I have obviously kept in contact with Chyna over the last several weeks. And why not? I think it'd be a lot of fun. And if she was able to, if she was physically able to, of course, if Chyna was wanting to come out of retirement for one more match against Kharma, Kong, whatever you want to call her, this would be money. And if WWE don't want to pick up on it, I know there are plenty other promoters that would make it happen.
Well, the thing is,
people would want to see this match.
As much as it is a huge thing, the only place that it should be done is within a WWE ring. That's the only place it would make sense to happen, because you have two of these most dominant wrestlers that understate them. For both of them, that like I keep on saying, these 3 words keep on coming out of my mouth. They break out of the pack. It's actually 4 words, but you know what I'm saying. And it's very few and far between that actually happens. And I think China and Kharma would be, unmistakable opponents. It's kind of a thing that you have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like a given. Why not?
Absolutely. Why the hell not? It only makes sense to do something like that. And I'm not sure, and I could be wrong, but I have to find out because we do still have another caller on the line, and something tells me I have to answer this phone. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, it's okay, because I have a feeling, and if I'm wrong, it might be Nate, but I'm going to find out. Hello, you're on with Felix and Austin.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Long time listener, first time caller.
Oh, no, you did not just do this. Nate, my man, where you been? I know you were probably trying to call in, but I wasn't sure, and I was like,
oh man. I was having some issues with the laptop. Great job with the interview, by the way. I enjoyed it, but I was having issues with the laptop, and I'm trying to figure out what can I do. Then the light bulb went off. What did they do for 50 years before we had these laptops and computers and people wanted to do shows? I hopped on the phone.
Hey, sometimes the old school works. Old school ways work. And something kept telling me, I'm looking at that, and I was like, okay, Kong's off the phone. Who wants to talk to us? I'm like, okay, this has got to be either Nate or somebody who's going to be picking on us for not letting him talk to her. And with all due respect, people who were calling in tonight, we hope you enjoyed it, but you know what? This was about getting to know who the person was. Maybe next time we will definitely delve in the idea of having her answer questions from callers. Respectful questions at that, if you're still listening tonight. We definitely want to keep everything 100% respectful, and some that have snuck by me, ain't going to happen this time. But anyways.
Come on, it takes a genius to know you have to have respect and admiration for a person like Kharma. But next week on Pipebomb Radio, Lanny Potter was joining the show. Obviously, that's why I said what I just said. Genius, can you get my whole entire analogy there? Come on.
Almost as good as his tomatoes and tuna.
Oh.
Nothing.
Here we go again. I had to start it. I know.
No, that's a different story. You both know that. It's something serious. It's a way of life. Now move on.
Oh, my goodness. But, yes, it's been, I don't know, Nate, if you didn't get a chance, I have to encourage you to check out the show we did last week with Jimmy Valiant. Brother man, and just listen to how many times I heard him say that. He was so freaking awesome. Absolutely wonderful guy. And he got the surprise of a lifetime from an old friend. And that's all I'm going to say for anybody who hasn't heard it yet. I encourage you guys to check it out. It's available on our YouTube channel as well as on Blog Talk on our website, pipebombradio.net. But hopefully we will have you join us again next week, man. What's that?
Well, no, I was going to say a story I want to share with people. And if you didn't watch last night's Monday Night Raw, it was sort of a bunch of unexpected things that happened. And throughout the entire night, Felix wasn't able to watch it. As soon as
you kept messing with me. You better shut up.
So I guess he was doing something at the time. So what I did is made it my mission to make things seem like they were real. So ECW returned to Raw. Not only ECW, but the Sandman, Raven, Tommy Dreamer, they all returned to Raw last night. Guess what? Along with Team 3D. That happened too. And The Undertaker and Kane supposedly returned to Raw last night. I'm trying to think who else I told you.
My favorite part was when Sting came back. He came out of the rafters. I like that part.
I know, exactly. And didn't say anything. Him and Kevin Nash have a match at Hell in a Cell in a couple of weeks. Did you know that?
Well, you know what? You need to be quiet.
Come on, you don't want to see Nash versus Sting? It's going to be amazing.
I want to see Nash in the ring almost as much as I want to see him tear his quad.
Which will happen if he gets in the ring.
It was a good Raw. The Rock return, and I would never expect it. That's one of the things about being a wrestling fan. You're always going to be surprised in every way, and when they can. And he definitely put out a big surprise when The Rock returned after a good while from being gone, and in the ring with Alexander Rusev. Never expected to see that happen.
I don't think anybody did. People speculated, but it was perfect because, to be honest, people were bored to death.
Yep.
And have that little surge of electricity and excitement. Dude is always on fire no matter where he goes. I don't think the man sleeps. I don't think he sleeps. I'm just being honest, but I mean, he he is up at 4 o'clock in the morning working out. He's doing movies. He's on Conan. He's doing this. He's doing that. My God, I don't think the man will ever stop, and I think his inspiration for doing so is Vince McMahon. The man is almost 70, and he still don't stop.
Yep. And I imagine he's always, The Rock's always shopping for a new wallet every single week, considering that he probably doesn't have enough room in there to keep all of what he's earned in his lifetime. But the thing is, he deserves it. Anything that man gets, he deserves. Because remember, I don't know if you guys have seen the documentary about The Rock or just his general life story. When he left to go to wrestling school, he only had $11 in his pocket. And look at him now; he probably has like $11 million. That's probably an understatement.
Yeah, he probably doesn't even have to carry a wallet around anymore. I mean, it's just like you know I'm The Rock. You know my money's good here.
But tonight was just a lot of fun, and I'm so glad he was able to work. And the roll, we keep rolling on and having another amazing guest coming on to the show. The momentum is going to keep going, folks, because we ain't done yet. 2014, we got some ideas in store, big ones at that, let me tell you. And hopefully we may have something good for the day after my birthday, because, we do a show a Tuesday in November. That's actually the day after my birthday's on that Monday. We do a show that Tuesday. So we got to get somebody big. I mean, it's my birthday. Why not,
What do you mean? Oh, why your birthday?
I'm saying we got a show November 25th. My birthday is November 24th.
Yeah, that's a Monday. Before. Yeah, it already happened. Your birthday's already over by then.
I'm not talking about me being the guest of honor. I'm talking about bringing somebody big on. Shoot, keep the party going.
Well, make sure you do that for my birthday at least. I mean, come on, let's look at me. Well, you can't see me, obviously. I think I'm on a television show right now. This is radio, right? It shouldn't be that way with you, even though the day before it already happened. So it makes no sense to bring on somebody big just for you. Maybe for Nate, because Nate's just amazing what he does.
I appreciate that. There goes the inflator again. What Kharma call you, the inflator?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll get Kathy Lee and Hoda fresh off of their Raw appearance.
Oh my God!
That was horrendous.
Were they having any fun? It didn't seem like they were having fun. It looked like there were a lot of, oh my God, we're really going to follow
so out of
people
place.
on.
It was ridiculous.
Yep. And the crowd didn't want them there either. The crowd was dying during that segment.
Brooklyn did not want to see Kathy Lee and Hoda.
And what's funny is that New York is one of the most vocal crowds I've ever been a part of, with the exception of Chicago. Two of the most outspoken vocal crowds I have ever been a part of in my entire life. If you ever get to be in a crowd in New York City or Chicago, hold on to your chairs, guys. Hold on to your ears if you get offended easily, but my God, it was fun. But,
I expect that.
Of course.
Remember that the day after WrestleMania? That was crazy. They knew who they liked and they knew who they did not like. And I know Randy Orton was pretty pissed off at the end of the night with his match against Sheamus, which is actually, it was actually a really good match because I know everybody's a fan of Sheamus. I am. Come on, it's Sheamus, and he's growing his beard out. And he's
you mean that giant jar of mayonnaise?
No. No, that's not
Good
him.
Lord, that guy is getting so freaking stale. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
He is not
Nothing,
stale.
no disrespect. There's nothing. I can't get entertained by him anymore.
No,
he has done everything he can do as a good guy. Switch him, turn him, do him something. It's the same thing with Kofi. It's the same thing with Cesaro. Cesaro is extremely talented, but they're not doing anything with him.
The only thing that was stale was the toast I had this morning, and that's gone. Sheamus.
We just need the drums right now.
I'm just saying, Great White Sheamus has everything it takes to be the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion. They just need to drive in the right direction, because I've always been impressed by him. But like I'm saying, there's only so much you can do with somebody. Cesaro is another person that he is amazing. I don't even know what's in that guy's body. He's a genetic freak.
There's a lot of guys that are lost in the shuffle. You talk about Cesaro, you talk about Sheamus. There's a lot of guys in that mid-card that they could be doing so much more with.
Amen to that.
Mm-hmm. Like Fandango, for example. Come on.
Oh, wow. I forgot all about Fandango.
I think everybody else did, too. But, to his credit, I will say, because I remember this vaguely because I was there in the crowd in New York, that dance, oh, my God. I cannot believe how over that whole music was. And everybody was freaking drunk, doing the dance in the subway, all the way home, all the way there to WrestleMania, to Raw. It was ridiculous.
Were you doing it?
No. I ain't no Jack. Well, never mind. Okay, I plead the fifth because I don't remember.
So you were drunk too?
No, I didn't say that.
Well, if you don't remember, then how can this be? I'm just kidding.
But I'm not denying it either.
Too far to be well, one thing
point was, it was a fad
Papa.
that came and went before you knew it.
Well, I guess you can say that. It kind of it lasted about 5 months and then sayonara, and that's when Fandango kind of faded off into the sunset. But next week's guest on Pipebomb Radio, Lanny Poffo. He actually called in, which is really cool, last week for Jimmy Valiant show to speak to him about his speech from what is it, Legends of Wrestling, Legends of the Ring.
Probably something to that extent. It was one of those Legends shows.
Yeah,
I don't know which one. I think he said it, but I missed it.
It was really such a great show and interview, but he's going to be with us next week to talk about his career. And in the past we've had him on to talk about Macho Man Randy Savage, one of the absolute most legendary superstars in history. Talking about his career and everything, but this time we're actually focusing on his life and what he's done in his career, which is, and I think he's so underrated as a person, as a wrestler. He's done.
And people crap on him so much for so many of the wrong reasons. People don't have a clue. He's one of the most nicest people. Absolutely one of the nicest people you'll ever talk to. And one of the great storytellers you'll ever meet. There's so many people that don't have the gift of gab. And it's like I was telling Kharma, some people don't have that gift of gab, but he has it. He's always I've spoken to Lanny many times over the years, and with pleasure that I can actually call him a friend. And I think that people, we need to hear his story. Because over the years, people have brought him on the show to talk about Randy Savage. What was it like being the Macho Man's brother? What was it like seeing your brother do this and do your brother? Nobody's ever focused on him. And you know what? And he completely understands because and when it comes right down to it, he says in the Hall of Fame, I would be honored to speak on behalf of my family, but I know nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Everybody wants to hear what about Randy because his star shined much brighter than myself and my father. Different times, different eras. Randy was probably one of the greatest of all time. Arguably, many people consider him the greatest of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say I have my ideas of what I'd like to see happen for the Poffo family, for Randy, for Lanny, for Angelo. And one of them, definitely I can say that I know the three of us can agree on without a shadow of a doubt. I can't wait to see that DVD in November.
Amen. Ooh, yeah, how about that? Isn't that the right response for this whole question? Angelo, Lanny, and Randy all were destined for greatness. His father started off and really just, and made his family's legacy known and created it for them for the future. And if people decide to call me out, I'm going to hang up on these people that are trying to call me right now. And the thing about it is, Angelo actually managed his two sons for just a little bit of time in Memphis, Tennessee, and just for a little bit of time, and managed him and Lanny, which is you can actually see some rare footage on this. I believe it's called Wrestling Gold. You can go on Amazon for pretty cheap. It's actually hosted by Jim Cornette and David Meltzer. Really entertaining stuff, and it just goes way back to the Poffo family legacy. Oh my God. You know what?
But if you guys make sure you guys check out Kong's Kickstarter. We're gonna have a link posted on our Facebook. I have one posted to my personal Facebook. check it out. It's got some great perks, as she was talking about. She will. You can be her manager, walk her down the aisle. Once in a lifetime opportunity. Let me tell you. You can actually. She will book a whole match. A match setup. And this is just amazing because they will bring you in. They actually will fly you in. Read the information, guys. There is a lot of perks on there. She will even give you, and if you know what, if you put one of the poor folk, like, I am proudly going to say I'm poor. I don't like it, but I got to deal with it. I'm poor. I went for one of the smaller ones, and to get a shout out on Twitter. She will follow you and give you a shout out on Twitter. Why not? Little different perks for different people. The billionaire ballers, and then the poor people. Like me.
Well, one thing I didn't see on there's all these perks, and then she doesn't have a perk where she can come and go into any person, any little child that I don't like, and flick their doll's head off. Why don't we see that on there?
Wow.
She did in those vignettes for WWE. Why can't she do it for a child that I might not adore?
That's true. No, but you know what? It's all about good karma. Watch that little video on her Kickstarter. It's about good karma. Got to do good deeds and good karma deeds, and that's what she's all about. So definitely check it out. Her goal is to hit 3,500 by next month. I don't remember the date exactly, but it's on her Kickstarter page. If you're a follower on her Facebook page, Twitter page, something's always listed. So check it out. Back it up. It's worth it. Donate to a good cause. Help her out. Because we've had some great Kickstarters come through the last few months. Yeah. Both have been extremely successful. For Ivan Koloff and for the legendary, the Ugandan giant, the mighty Kamala. Both have been very successful and surpassed their goals at that. So this should be a walk in the park, a piece of cake.
I'm always nice to you guys. I never say anything bad about anybody, and I get the karma all the time, right? I should expect that, right?
Austin, check your nose, see if it's growing.
I was going to plead the fifth on that one.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Another great show in the books, guys. Let me ask Nate, with all things, will you be able to join us next week?
Yes, I will be able to join us, knock on wood. I'm going to get this computer looked at this week, and if the computer's not working, I'll be on the phone. If the phone's not working, I'll be there with a tin can and some strings.
There you go. No, we definitely, we need our third wheel here. We're a three-man group, and we got to make sure we make Mr. Poffo feel very welcome. I know as any of us definitely would if we ever spoke to him individually. But going to be fun, October. I would love to do something incredible for Halloween. I don't know if we have a show on Halloween. I forget. Did we talk about that? I think we have a show on the 28th. Too bad. Because I would love to do something where we could get creative for Halloween and do something like that for a special guest. I don't know. Something to think about. The month ain't over yet. It's full of tricks and treats. Hopefully more tricks than treats. More treats than treats. I mean, more treats than tricks. You be the judge. You be the judge.
Well, it makes no sense to me. For Halloween, nobody ever comes up to my door. I never see any kids. I don't know what that reason is. They go to the next door neighbor's house.
Well, if you turn your light on and be nice to people. No, I'm kidding. Instead of wanting people to come over, come over and flick their heads. He's usually out at Subway every night. What are you talking about?
Well, for Halloween, I always dress up as a guy, with a beach door. And then when the kids come, I just kick sand in their eyes. I don't know why they run away. It's a joke. It's a Halloween costume.
He's so nice. But check us out on our website, pipebombradio.net, all of our past shows. We've got another good show coming up Thursday night, Not Your Mama's Radio Show, as Oscar Mo and Dreamy Mimi, they welcome former TNA star Matt Morgan to the show. Gonna keep their momentum going. They just had the one and only Sonny Ono this past Thursday. And this guy, as Oscar, who was it, Mo, that put it, the connoisseur of strip clubs.
Well, not only that.
Him and the WCW boys visited a lot of strip clubs, and he was talking about having the best steaks in some of the strip clubs down in Atlanta and all around the United States that he's gone to. They're having some of the best steaks at strip clubs. I didn't know that. But it was a lot of fun. Sonny is freaking awesome, and you know what?
Nothing about the strip club menu, Austin. No.
Really? So
but you know what? Let's not forget.
Sandwiches.
Let's not forget. Sonny is and always will be the innovator of the selfies. He was doing selfies before selfies were cool. Think about that.
Exactly. And, you know, I'm actually working on a project with him. We're kind of finished. It's for a new T-shirt. The innovator of selfies, because that's, if you never really think about it, and I think he just realized that a month ago, that he kind of is the innovator of selfies, especially in wrestling. And that's the only person I've ever seen, actually go in front of right when they walk out the entrance and take a picture of themselves. It's quite the sight to see when you go back and realize that he's actually, I give him credit for being the innovator of selfies. He fits the part.
Absolutely. That's good. That's a lot of fun. And make sure you guys check the show out Thursday night. These guys definitely have quite the little banter back and forth. Mimi and I just kind of drift off into the sunset, but Mimi's sitting there laughing and talking, and her Raw report is freaking awesome, guys. I gotta say, I've heard her Raw report, and she's on the ball. She has her opinion. She brings a female opinion to the show, and she plays a referee sometimes. Because Mo and Oscar be just going back and forth, and it's freaking hilarious, and you don't know if you're listening to an episode of Jerry Springer or is it Men on a Mission, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I can tell you for sure.
And make sure to watch
anything you guys want to plug?
Pipebomb Radio .net. Also our Facebook pages on Pipebomb Radio and Twitter. Pipebomb _ radio. And also on Instagram at Pipebomb Radio. It's kind of the same thing across the board.
Absolutely, sir. And how about you, Nate? Do you guys have something you want to plug?
Sure. You guys can, if you like hearing me on Pipebomb Radio when my phone works, you can check me out on the Kings of Sport with myself and Marcus Vanderberg every week. We talk about the world of sports, pop culture, pro wrestling, all that good stuff. You can check that out on Facebook, facebook.com / the Kings of Sport, as well as iTunes and Stitcher. And, it's one of the things I look forward to each and every week, doing the Kings of Sport, as well as joining these two guys here on Pipebomb Radio.
Me too.
There you go.
So maybe Austin not so much, but no.
That's what I'm saying. Well, guys, actually, I never say anything about this, but you can actually follow me on Twitter if you want. At the Austin James. I'm a pretty cool cat, like the girls say. And you can follow me on Instagram as well. Come on, I'll be your friend on Facebook if you don't have any, which is probably the case.
And they say Austin is not an arrogant guy. Come on now.
No, I'm a really nice person.
He's a
really nice person.
You know that. Only respect.
Who, me? I don't know what you're talking about, son.
Austin walking around with that Rick Martel arrogance cologne on.
There you go.
Come on, it was on sale. Give me a break.
I don't doubt it. But hey, guys, definitely a great show. Make sure you check us out next week with the legendary Lanny Poffo. Going to be a lot of fun. In the meantime, on behalf of Austin, on behalf of Nate, on behalf of myself, Felix for Pipebomb Radio, I'm going to say keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars. Good night, everybody. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Night.
Ah!